Today we have a very special treat. Dr. Altun, who is from Turkmenistan, also knows how to cook Russian food. And we have a Russian honey cake. So in this double boiler that we have improvised in a glass bowl and a pot of boiling water, we have butter, sugar, and honey. And you want to get it to this gooey consistency now that the butter has melted with the sugar. Now, if you need to add more honey, you may. So now we're adding our eggs one at a time to our honey mixture that's been gently cooking over the double boiler. In the double boiler, add one egg at a time and whisk as you add. Now we are taking a little bit of flour at a time, we're straining it, and we're adding it to our egg and butter and honey mixture, whisking as we go. And it's important just to add a little bit at a time. Adding 1 tablespoon of vinegar to the baking soda. Now you're going to add the baking soda with the vinegar to your mixture. So the batter is done, it's ready, and now we're going to make our cake. 3 cups of flour to our batter mixture. And we're also adding the baking powder.
Okay, she says yes, you can use the KitchenAid. By the way, if you need more, because that it doesn't it's not gonna be soft. So if you need more flour, you can add more. Okay? And she needs more right now, so we're adding more.
Now we're about to really make the honey cake. And Saltine says this is not a normal cake, as you can see. And we're going to be using a rolling pin to make the layers of the cake. So here we go.
Bıçak verir misin? Üzerine ondurursak.
Yok o şeye geldi.
Neye göre kesiyorsun? 8. You're gonna have 8 pieces of it.
Now Altine is rolling each of these cut sections into balls and placing it in a pan that has been floured.
Is it to grow?
The cake balls so that they can rise. For how many minutes? So now we're taking our dough balls for our honey cake, sprinkling some parchment paper with a little bit of flour, and we are going to roll it out very carefully and very gently. And they're going to be the size of a very, very large tortilla. And then, after they're rolled out, you can see how thin they are, maybe a 1/16 of an inch thick. Very, very delicate and thin. And you want to do this process slowly and carefully because this is very delicate. And you might want to take a lid of a pan just to measure, so to make sure that the sizes are consistent and big enough. Then you will prick it gently, and this will enable even baking and no bubbles. So now you're going to remove your honey cake and let it cool. Yes. So now we're taking the excess from our honey cake, and look what Alton's doing. She's crumbling up the leftovers, the remnants, and she's making little crumbs, which are filling and our icing for our Russian honey cake. We have heavy cream. We're taking 2 cups of heavy cream. Going to whip our whipping cream. So this is the consistency you want.
So she's gonna what?
Adding 1 can of the dulce leche to our whipped cream.
Tomorrow they have a breakfast. You got
Oh, this one.
Now our layers are ready. They're baked. We have 8 layers for our Russian honey cake. They also have to cool off for about 5 minutes. Over here we have our filling, our icing, whatever you want to call it, and it's whipped cream with dulce leche. So now we're going to take a heaping tablespoon or 2, and we're going to spread it on each layer generously. Is we are layering 8 layers of our Russian honey cake. We're slathering it with our whipped cream and dulce de leche filling. And you can see we're applying it generously and we're slathering it all over the top. Then, after we have our filling, we're going to take one of the cakes, and you have to let it cool for about 5 minutes, and you layer the process. So what you're doing is you're basically stacking layer upon layer of deliciousness.
Can we have the bowl? Can we scrape the bowl?
I think they're looking good.
We have our crushed cake crumbs, and now we're going to put it on top of our Russian honey cake, our $1 million Russian honey cake. You also want to put the crushed cake crumbs on the side, so you're just covering this, you're encasing your cake totally.
Değiştirelim. Olur mu? Hem de var bu arada.
wonderful.